seem discouraged about everything, Skye. You make it all sound so hopeless.
You mean it's not?
As long as the truth is on our side.
And all the evidence on theirs.
You're a great help.
I'm facing the facts, Libby. I'll leave the fantasizing to you.
And the facts are these. There are only 3 people who could prove that Skye Whitney was an imposter. Aunt Geraldine, Valerie Bryson, and the imposter himself.
He's dead, unfortunately.
That's right, he's dead. And Valerie and Aunt Geraldine believe that if there was an imposter, I'm it.
You were in too much of a hurry. You should have waited till we had more definite proof.
Well, be that as it may. I didn't wait until we had more proof. I imagine I thought that since they should believe me, they would.
If only you'd use some discretion.
Well, let's not get into that again, shall we? He just did a better job of proving who he was than I did.
We have to give him some credit. He did do a thorough job of research. Where, how, we don't know. We can only speculate.
He proved himself, and I ended up making a fool out of myself in front of Aunt Geraldine.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You were badly injured in that plane crash. It's only temporary, I'm sure, but you can't expect to be in perfect health just yet.
The doctors in Switzerland told us you might have a little trouble remembering things.
Yes, well, his memory was perfect. You two should feel some satisfaction. You proved yourself right. Now, I don't have any proof, and I don't know where I can find it.
However, you did leave one name off that list.
Might help you forget your troubles, you know?
Well, it doesn't. It is just driving me to the brink of insanity.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't want that, would we? Especially with all your other problems.
You're a big help, honey.
Thanks.
Hey, lady, you got a visitor. Right this way, honey.
Hello, Mrs. Whitney.
Oh, Nora, thank heavens. I am so anxious to change into something more comfortable.
I think I found everything on your list.
Great.
Oh. Hey, you got yourself some beautiful things there. Boy, I wish I was in your shoes. Sure lucky.
Lucky?
Well, you would be lucky if you weren't facing a murder rap.
That color's all right. You had 3 of the same style, so I had to make a choice.
Hey, it's great. You brought all the right things.
Well, I'm glad, Mrs. Whitney.
Okay, so now, tell me what is happening at home. Tell me everything. I am starved for information.
Well...
The first thing I want to know about is Geraldine. She must be worried to death about me.
Well, not really, no.
Well, didn't you tell her that I was here and what happened?
Oh, yes.
Well, when is she coming to see me then?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Whitney, but Mrs. Saxon has gone on a trip to Washington to see some old friends, I think.
She left town when I am in the worst predicament of my life?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, I don't believe it. I mean, she was always so concerned about me. She's like my own mother. I thought for sure that she would come here with you and visit me.
I'm afraid she's already gone, Mrs. Whitney.
Well, what'd she say?
Well, she was very upset at first. You should have seen the way she carried on. I thought she was going to have an attack or something. But then she just got plain angry. Said she was washing her hands of you entirely, that you were simply hopeless, I think is the word she used.
That doesn't sound like Geraldine.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Whitney. I shouldn't even be telling you this at all. You're upset enough without worrying about what Mrs. Saxon is doing.
Just goes to show you. You have to get into trouble to find out who your friends really are.
Oh, you can say that again, honey.
I don't understand it. She always used to stand by me.
Try not to worry about it, Mrs. Whitney. I will stand by you. You can count on that.
Oh, Nora, I'm really going to need your help a lot.
Well, listen, I have to go now. They said I couldn't stay very long. Sergeant!
Right.
Oh, just a minute. I have just a couple more things that I want you to bring.
Oh, sure, Mrs. Whitney. I'll get right to it.
I don't believe it. A file.
Calvin, this is not the calmest I've ever seen you.
Yeah, well, I guess the griddle's getting a little hot. I must be reacting to the heat, babe.
Now, what does that mean? Does it have something to do with this special reason for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Look, Didi, I wrote a first draft of a letter to Star. I'm gonna ask her for a divorce.
That's going to be a little rough on her, don't you think, getting a Dear Star letter from so far away?
Yeah, well, I can't get any more time off from work to go all the way to New York. I just thought that might make it easier on everybody.
Are you sure, Calvin?
I am sure that in a letter, I can express my feelings probably better than I ever could in person.
Is this it?
Yeah. Mind if I read a little of it to you?
I'm not sure I have a right to hear it, Calvin.
Please, Didi. It would help me.
Okay.
Well, I'll skip the preliminaries and get to the point. Star, what happened doesn't mean the love between us wasn't real. Maybe sometimes love has a season like everything else. I know with us we had a spring, and it was beautiful. Our inability to change our own desires and goals made it impossible to last through summer. I'm not blaming you, Star, and I hope you don't blame me. I know you'll agree that there can't be much happiness in a marriage that's ceased to grow. And as difficult as it may be, it's best to end it now while we both still remember this springtime. I mean, I know I have to work on it a little, but you don't think it's too corny or anything, do you?
No. I think it's a beautiful letter. But it's still going to be painful for her to read it just the same.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be any less painful to put a stamp on it and mail it either.
Hi there, good folks.
Hi, Sid.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Can't say that much for the rest of the gang that hangs out here, though.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Everybody's pulling a disappearing act lately. How come? Is it because Mitzi's taken a couple of days off? I mean, I know she's a big draw, but I haven't seen Jim or Hector or Cliff or Smiley or... Well, I don't know. Maybe they don't like the food around here anymore, huh?
Oh, well, no, I don't really think it's that, Sid. Smiley and the others, they're involved in another one of those theater projects. But it'll be over and they'll all be back in full force any time now, I'm sure.
Well, I sure hope so. Because there's something I've been wanting to talk to Smiley about.
What's that?
Well, you see, I got this old school chum, Maud Feeney. She lives in Flint, Michigan now, and, you know, we've kept in touch over the years, Christmas cards, stuff like that, and, well, I wrote her a letter recently, and I told her about this guy I met, Smiley Wilson, and, she wrote me back, and, oh, God, I don't know why I'm bothering you with this.
Hey, no, come on, something's on your mind. Just get it off your chest.
Well, I'm sure that Maud is wrong about this, but this is what she says. There was a guy by the name of Smiley Wilson arrested a while back for a bank robbery here in Flint. I remember him because his picture in the paper sure wasn't smiling, and Ed and me, yeah, that's her husband, Ed and me laughed about the name being Smiley. You sure ought to stay clear of that kind of guy, Sid, and of course maybe it's not the same guy. Well, what do you think, Calvin?
It's very unlikely, Sid, that it's the same Smiley.
Sure, Wilson is a very common name, and Smiley is not too uncommon.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured, too.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I gotta get back and tend to business here. I'll get you guys before you go out, huh?
Sure. Yeah, right. You know, maybe I really ought to, check with the PD in Flint. I mean, it's not likely, but, well, hopefully, that Smiley and ours aren't one and the same.
Hey, Smiley, I got it finished. Oh, yeah, looks real good. Look, I'm sorry, I could only run off 2 copies without the boss catching on. Is that okay? Great. Okay, so long.
How come you didn't cry at the wedding today?
I was just very clever about hiding it.
Well, there was more than the usual reason for tears at this wedding.
But it was beautiful, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Honey, I don't think I've ever had such mixed feelings about a marriage before.
It's impossible to feel any other way under the circumstances.
You know, just knowing what they'll be facing these next few weeks, maybe months. Good to see how happy they were about getting married. For however long it lasts.
In other words, it was just like any other wedding.
You know what I mean.
I have a feeling you're going to be doing your crying now.
No. No such thing.
You'd have every right. It was heartbreaking.
No, it was wonderful, Mike. You're really very courageous people.
And without any sense of martyrdom either. Just plain old-fashioned fortitude. As if they were saying, we're going to grab the happiness of this day and let the future take care of itself.
Yeah, well, nobody knows what the future's going to bring. It's always risky. If you have luck, the rewards are wonderful. We've been lucky, haven't we?
I know I have.
How I love to see the younger generation having a good time. Sorry about my Tommy.
Nancy, would you give this kid a quarter and send him off to the movies?
Make that 4 1/4 and you got a deal. And that's how much the movies cost these days.
Oh, right, okay. Tell us about your day.
No, yours first. How was the wedding?
Oh, beautiful.
Obviously, you had a good day at the studio. I can tell by that wide grin.
Yeah, I did. It was a very wonderful, productive day.
Really? What happened?
Well, you remember the problem I was having trying to find a hostess for the new children's television program I'm producing? Well, the problem has been solved.
Oh, that is good news.
I must have auditioned every young lady within a 100-mile radius. If she could breathe, I auditioned.
And who was your final choice?
Somebody sitting right in her own backyard. Jody Travis.
Jody? She's capable?
Did she audition too?
Mm-hmm. Within the first 2 minutes, I knew that she had the job. You should have seen her. She was perfect. She waltzed right into the middle of a group of kids and commanded their full attention.
Well, good for her.
Of course, it wasn't quite that easy. I mean, Gavin had to drag her down to the studio, but with a little bit of friendly persuasion on my part, she sailed right through it.
Oh, that's wonderful, and I'm sure you're pleased. That means you can start production right away.
Exactly. All I got to do is get the approval of the program director, but I'm sure he's going to be just as enthusiastic about Jody as I am.
Mm-hmm. And Geraldine, what does Geraldine say?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to catch her just as she was leaving town, and she gave me permission to hire Jody on the spot without a contract.
Geraldine was leaving town? I didn't know she was going on a trip.
Where'd she go?
Washington, D.C.
Good for her. She always has a marvelous time with her old political cronies. There's nothing she likes more than arguing politics and raking over Gordon Whitney's enemies, the few who are left.
Yeah, I also think she was a little lonely without Raven around.
Well, where's she gone?
On an extended cruise of some sort. I guess Geraldine just didn't want to sit home alone in the Whitney mansion.
Well, Raven has certainly turned into a world traveler, hasn't she?
Okay, campers, what we need here is a black jack and a red queen. And if you do not get your black jack on the red queen, you improvise.
They say if you cheat at solitaire, you'll cheat at everything. You think that's true?
All I know is one thing. If I ever get out of here, I am never going to cheat at anything ever again.
Honey, it's easy to make them kind of promises. But when the time comes, you'll cheat. Don't worry.
Do something for me, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Shut up.
Just passing the time, honey.
All right, lady.
Yeah, what do you want, meatball?
I don't want you. Didn't you hear me say lady? You're no lady. You, Mrs. Whitney, your mouthpiece is here. Right this way, sir.
Thank heavens.
Mrs. Whitney, I'm Bennett Matthews.
Hello, how do you do, Mr. Matthews? Is it true that you are the best criminal lawyer in the world?
I never said that.
Well, maybe you didn't say it, but Mike Carr did.
Think we're going to accomplish anything here tonight? I have to be getting back to the Whitney house.
My house, damn it, bought with my money.
What's your hurry, Spencer? You said those two women who pay you to be their servant had gone away on extended visits. You said yourself they'd probably be away for days, even weeks.
Even though the ladies are gone, I do have certain responsibilities.
You do have an overdeveloped sense of loyalty, don't you?
I wouldn't laugh at it if I were you, Libby. You might find a sense of loyalty will come in handy one day. Skylar, try not to worry. If there's a solution to this problem, we'll find it.
Yes, well, I imagine I'm going to have to be satisfied with that. Thank you, Spencer.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Libby.
Good night. I don't think I'll ever fully understand Spencer Varney.
I thought the two of you were close.
I suppose we started out that way about 100 years ago. But then I learned that Spencer has iced water in his veins. I don't think it possible for him to feel anything for anyone.
Well, you never know about some people, Libby. He may very well have felt strongly at one point and ended up getting hurt. Maybe he doesn't want to get hurt again. And that's why his composure is his best defense.
Perhaps.
Yes, perhaps. I'm going to go to bed. Don't wake me.
It's obvious, Mrs. Whitney, that either you or Lance Halliday is not telling the truth.
He lied.
Of course. Well, that will make the case much more clear-cut, won't it?
Meaning what?
Meaning that if this case does go to trial, the prosecution must prove that you are lying, and I must prove that he is lying.
Do you think it's going to go to trial?
I don't know. The first step, of course, is the grand jury procedure, and that's where the prosecution, Mike Carr at this point, will have to present the evidence to the grand jury, and then they will have to decide whether the evidence warrants a trial or not.
Forget all this. Just tell me honestly. What do you think is going to happen?
It's my considered opinion, Mrs. Whitney, that you have nothing to worry about. It's your word against his, and they do not have sufficient evidence to hand down an indictment.
Mike Carr was right. Oh, you're the best.
Well, when's dinner?
Oh, it won't be long.
You got time for a cocktail?
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to go upstairs and change and be right back.
Okay.
Well, Geraldine and Raven are both gone. It's odd to think that the Whitney mansion is empty again.
Well, it's not completely empty. They're the servants, remember?
that's what happens when the cat's away, is it? Well, Nora, I'll just have to follow you and see what you do with your stolen goods.
Stay at work.